We thought we had witnessed every conceivable level of celebrity petty drama. But what happened on an emergency midnight live stream between comedy superstar DC Young Fly and hip-hop mogul Rick Ross has officially destroyed every social media algorithm on the planet. An absolutely unprecedented firestorm just exploded across the entire internet. And the entertainment industry is currently standing in complete jaw-dropping shock. Rick Ross believed he was doing a masterclass in promotional technique to increase his streaming statistics when he took a direct, unexpected jab at DC Young Fly on a song off his recently released album. He anticipated that DC would either laugh it off, remain silent, or make a low-key jest. However, Rick Ross committed the greatest error of his 30-year career. DC Young Fly revealed the entire business in an explosive late-night live stream that broke all platform view records in a matter of minutes. He did more than simply make fun of Rick Ross's appearance, weight, and false boss character. DC used private text receipts and verified confidential industry indicators to demonstrate that Ross's entire album feud was a desperate attempt to preserve a failing product from disastrous flop sales. Stay there, because what DC disclosed at the 8-minute mark permanently alters your perception of Rick Ross. Rewinding the tape and examining the deep, simmering animosity that has been silently growing behind closed doors between DC Young Fly and Rick Ross for years is necessary to fully understand the catastrophic scope of this colossal breakup. These two characters appear to symbolize two whole separate urban entertainment worlds on the surface of. Born and reared in Atlanta, DC Young Fly used pure, unadulterated comic brilliance to establish his legendary legacy from the bottom up. DC is a man of the people, having gone from his early days becoming popular on Vine and Instagram to being the unquestionable crown gem of Wild 'N Out and the formidable presenter of the record-breaking 85 South show. His genuineness, quick wit, and steadfast devotion to his heritage have earned him widespread admiration. DC is the type of performer who doesn't require a corporate public relations apparatus. His fan following is very loyal of him, and his brilliance speaks for itself. On the opposite end of the scale is William Leonard Roberts II, better known worldwide as Rick Ross, the largest boss, the creator of Maybach Group, and the man who created a multi-million-dollar mythos centered on opulence, street supremacy, and impenetrable corporate riches. Rick Ross had a bulletproof aura for over 20 years. He talked of unending champagne flows, enormous estates, and private aircraft. However, in recent years, the public started to see minute fissures in the Maybach armor. The scene changed quickly. A new generation of fans began to seek genuine authenticity over fake flexing, and streaming algorithms got harsh. A legendary, widely reported occurrence on the set of the 85 South show is where DC Young Fly and Rick Ross first fell in love. After arriving to the interview, Ross sat down on the couch with DC, Carlos Miller, and Chico Bean. They spoke for a short while before Ross abruptly said he had to go to use the restroom. The hosts were left absolutely perplexed in real time when Ross discreetly left the premises, got into his SUV, and drove directly to the airport instead of going back. Even though the video quickly went viral, there was still underlying disdain. On camera, DC Young Fly and the crew handled it with comedy, but behind the scenes, industry insiders realized that Ross' sudden departure was a deliberate power move, an attempt to establish himself as superior to Complex Plus 3, the platform that was providing him with free advertising. When Ross embarked on a media tour to promote his new studio album in recent months, the tension was rekindled. Ross' label was allegedly in complete panic due to the fierce competition from younger artists and the difficulty of securing a top 10 charting song. His first pre-orders were alarmingly low, according to internal predictions. Numbers that would seriously harm the biggest boss's reputation, which he had built over decades. Industry leaders were aware that Ross required a viral issue to thrive in the contemporary media landscape. He sought a title that would compel people to discuss his idea on blogs, response channels, and casual listeners. Ross made the calculated, extremely cynical choice to attack a comedian rather than participate in a conventional rap feud with another musician, where he ran the danger of being outed or exposed. Ross thought that making fun of DC Young Fly on a well-known album tune would generate immediate attention without posing a serious risk of poetic backlash. Ross growled into the microphone on the third track of the album, making subtle, disparaging allusions to his personal life as well as obvious barbs against DC's platform and looks. Ross believed he had pulled off a perfect marketing stunt. Leaning into the drama and grinning for the camera, he shared snippets of the diss on his social media accounts. The C bloggers fell for the ruse. The headlines began to fly. Additionally, Rick Ross was trending everywhere for a short 24-hour period. However, Ross's assessment of DC Young Fly's psychological profile was entirely incorrect. For entertainment's sake, Ross treated DC as a silent spectator who would accept the insult. He was blind to the fact that DC Young Fly is a virtuoso of unscripted, live verbal annihilation. A man with a wealth of industrial knowledge who trained in the trenches of many fights. Rick Ross was going straight into a nuclear explosion that would permanently change his legacy, but he was unaware that the fuse was lit and the trap was set. Officially, the explosion happened at 1:15 a.m. The M, standard time in the East. DC Young Fly launched an unexpected Instagram live stream from his Atlanta private recording studio without any previous notice, countdown, or promotional teaser. More than 300,000 people watched the stream in less than 90 seconds. As news traveled like wildfire that DC was seated in front of a microphone with a look of icy resolve on his face, notifications were glitching across phones all over the world. He didn't shout at first. He didn't perform a comedic routine. Wearing a simple black sweatshirt, DC sat in a leather chair and gazed directly into the camera lens with a calm, chilly intensity that instantly chilled everyone in the room. "Y'all think everything is a joke," DC said, lowering his voice to a calm, deep tone that immediately put an end to the tumultuous live comment section. "You all assume that I'm soft since I roast, grin, and make millions of people laugh every day. You guys believe that if a man records a song in a studio that mentions my name, disparages my family, and disparages my hustle, I'll just sit back and let him utilize my suffering to sell his small 50,000 copy album." YouTube. The conversation descended into complete, uncontrollable insanity. Shock responses and fire emojis moved so quickly that the screen became blurry. DC walked down to his desk and grabbed an iPad. When he tapped the screen, a number of color-coded papers, email conversations, and audio waveforms appeared. DC went on, leaning forward until his face dominated the screen. "Let me tell y'all what Rick Ross won't tell you," he said. "You're a big lad. Your company mascot is a huge optical illusion. You called me a YouTube comic and said that I wasn't on your level when you were sitting on that record. Let's examine the real figures, though. Let's see the certified receipts that your A&R supplied to my management team 3 weeks ago, William." A private email thread from a senior vice president of marketing at Ross record label was revealed when DC brought the iPad up to the high-definition camera lens. "Urgent Ross album marketing strategy and controversy allocation" was the topic line. A desperate marketing strategy was clearly described in the text. It was discovered that Rick Ross's new album's first-week sales forecasts were tracking at a pitiful 14,000 units, a number so pitifully low for a heritage artist that it would result in an instant corporate write-off by his distributor. In order to artificially increase streaming metrics by at least 300%, the email specifically advised Ross to manufacture a high-visibility, low-risk quarrel with a well-known digital personality. "You had actual smoke with me. Therefore, you didn't disparage me." Ross DC screamed, his voice growing into a razor-sharp, thundering boom that echoed across the speakers. "Because you're broke, you made fun of me. Not always broke. You're corporately bankrupt. You don't even own the property beneath the 40 automobiles that are parked there. You have a 300-room estate and a $100,000 monthly energy payment that you have been delaying through third-party LLCs in order to prevent the power company from turning out the lights until your record is released." YouTube's live stream surpassed 600,000 concurrent viewers, shattering the previous record for a single live broadcast in the history of urban entertainment. DC didn't even hesitate. He delivered the most relentless, music, terrifyingly accurate verbal destruction ever captured on live video for the next 30 minutes. He broke down every aspect of Ross's character. He revealed how complex, high-interest floor plan loans with private dealership groups in South Florida were actually linked to Ross' well-known collection of luxury cars. He disclosed that due to unpaid regional licensing fees, Ross' cherished Wingstop franchise locations were subject to harsh operational audits. Music. After that, DC revealed the first huge twist that left the audience utterly paralyzed. DC used his phone to play a 5-second audio clip that had been leaked. 6 days prior to the album's release, Rick Ross was clearly heard on the recording speaking in a muted, terrified tone over the phone with a well-known Atlanta event promoter. Ross is clearly heard in the audio saying, "Man, we got to get DC to react to the line. This album is doomed if he doesn't go live and discuss it. Man, we need the drama." Music informs his team that if he cooperates, we can split the controversy revenue on the back end. Music. The revelation that Ross had attempted to covertly arrange a fictitious, mutually beneficial beef behind the scenes, only for DC Young Fly to reject the offer and use the recording to publicly expose him, completely upended the entire narrative on the internet. Ross wasn't a merciless boss eliminating a comedian. He, Music, was a desperate industry veteran begging a younger, more relevant creator to help him stay afloat. DC turned off the audio, looked directly into the camera with a look of supreme victory, Music, and slammed his hand on the desk. "You tried to script me, Ross. You tried to turn my name into a marketing strategy for your flop album. You thought I was going to play along with your fake-ass WWE rap drama. Nah, big boy. You picked the wrong one. You want boss talk? Let's talk about how your label just froze your promotional budget because of this exact live stream." Panic broke out inside Rick Ross' inner circle in Miami. Leaked messages from staff members at Ross Star Island residence indicated that Ross was watching a live stream from his home theater room, surrounded by his security team and management. When DC played the leaked phone call, Ross reportedly dropped his glass of champagne onto the marble floor, stood up in an absolute blind, Music, rage, and began screaming at his team to get his legal department on the phone immediately. The situation had spiraled completely out of control. What was supposed to be a clever, controlled album rollout had instantly transformed into a career-ending exposure event. But just as the audience thought DC Young Fly had reached the absolute peak of his destruction, he paused, Music, checked a notification on his phone, and delivered a chilling second revelation that raised the stakes to an even more dangerous level. The atmosphere in the live stream transformed from chaotic comedy into tense music, heavy suspense. DC Young Fly sat his phone down on the desk, stared silently at the screen for 10 agonizing seconds, and slowly leaned closer to the microphone. "I just got a text message from a very powerful attorney in Miami," DC said, his voice dropping into a quiet, dangerous whisper. "They're telling me that Rick Ross' legal team is currently contacting the platform attempting to issue an emergency copyright strike to take this stream down. They're claiming I'm broadcasting confidential corporate trade secrets, music, and unauthorized audio recordings. But guess what? It's too late, William. The whole world already saw the receipts." Within minutes of DC's announcement, the hashtag DC exposes Ross hit the absolute #1 trending spot globally on X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Music reaction channels across the internet went live simultaneously, Music analyzing every single frame of DC's iPad screen, zooming in on the email timestamps and cross-referencing the financial data with public property filings in Fayette County, Music, Georgia. The social media landscape became a total battleground. Bloggins pulled public corporate records for Maybach Music Group, confirming that the corporate entity had indeed filed for 3 separate administrative extensions on its state tax filings over the past 18 months. The narrative that Rick Ross was an untouchable liquid cash billionaire was officially crumbling in front of millions of eyewitnesses. Music, then came the second unexpected twist that fundamentally changed the trajectory of entire controversy. Music. As DC was continuing his live stream, prominent hip-hop commentator and media personality DJ Academics went live on his own platform, revealing that he had just received an emergency document leak from an anonymous insider inside Ross Distribution Company. The paper was an official corporate memorandum issued by the record label's executive board approximately 90 minutes after DC started streaming. The memo stated in plain, brutal black and white text that due to unforeseen reputational damage, public backlash, and potential legal exposure arising from unverified promotional conflicts, the label was officially halting all physical distribution and marketing expenditures, music, for Rick Ross's new album. Read that again. The label didn't simply delay the record, they outright stopped the whole financial funding of the project. Millions of dollars in scheduled television appearances, billboard ads and times, Square and radio placement packages were abruptly canceled in real time as the corporate board rushed to manage the crisis. Music. The news hit the internet like an earthquake. Twitter threads burst with people pointing out the great historical irony. Rick Ross had invented a bogus beef to rescue his record sales, only for the fight to fail so spectacularly that his own label pulled the plug on the entire project. Celebrities couldn't conceal their reactions. Major celebrities from the comedy and hip-hop sectors began chiming in openly. Music. Comedians shared entertaining video clips ridiculing Ross' sudden interview exits, while notable rappers dropped cryptic, laughing emojis alongside news updates. 50 Cent, Ross' everlasting arch-enemy Music, swiftly seized on the tumultuous scenario. He shared a video on Instagram sitting in a luxurious automobile with a bag of popcorn, laughing uncontrollably as he played recordings of DC Young Fly ridiculing Ross on loop. 50 captioned the photo, "I told y'all for 15 years, the dude is a living fairy tale." DC Young Fly just performed what the whole rap game was too terrified to do. In the meantime, complete paranoia took over Ross camp. A thorough internal investigation was started to find the person who gave DC Young Fly access to the confidential phone conversation and marketing strategy emails, according to leaked reports from former Maybach Music employees. No one was certain of the extent of the breach, Music, but suspicions pointed to a disgruntled former A&R executive who had recently been fired during label downsizing. Fans even brought up Floyd Mayweather again, making amusing comparisons between Ross's current financial situation and the recent tax drama involving Mayweather. The internet produced thousands of side-by-side memes that called Ross and Mayweather the illusionist brothers and showed them standing outside of closed bank vaults. DC Young Fly wasn't Music done, feeling that he had total control over the story. Glancing back at the live camera, he grabbed a paper file folder from a floor-level briefcase and opened it. "You guys, Music, think I had nothing but that phone call?" With a menacing smile on his face, DC inquired. "Music, you guys think that before I sat on this stream, I didn't finish my homework? You've been claiming to be a self-made mogul for the past 5 years, Ross. However, I have the original master recording contracts from 2009 in this folder that demonstrate who is the true owner of the Maybach Music name and catalog. And hint, William, it's not you." The live chat descended into complete panic. The video feed abruptly glitched before DC could read the contents of the folder. The screen froze and a black error message popped up across the screen. "This live stream has been temporarily suspended due to a high volume of privacy reports." The stream was forcefully cut off right at the absolute most critical moment, leaving over 800,000 live viewers screaming at their screens in utter frustration and desperation. Music. The sudden, abrupt termination of DC Young Fly's live stream didn't quiet the storm. It threw gasoline directly onto an already roaring inferno. Within seconds of the black screen appearing, the entire digital world exploded into unprecedented, chaotic debate. The internet fractured into two wildly passionate, fiercely combative factions. On one side stood #Team DC, representing millions of fans, music, comedy lovers, and everyday social media users who praised DC Young Fly as a heroic figure who finally exposed the fake performative nature of corporate rap culture. Fans flooded comment sections across every platform, creating viral compilation videos of DC's most brutal music, roasts, and hailing him as an unkillable cultural icon. DC Young Fly just proved that real authenticity will always destroy manufactured hype. One viral tweet with over 150,000 likes declared. Rick Ross tried to use a black comedian for clout and ended up getting his entire career audited on live stream. Music, absolute legendary behavior. On the opposing side, die-hard #Team Ross loyalists and old-cool hip-hop purists launched Music, an aggressive counteroffensive. They argued that DC Young Fly went way too far by airing out confidential corporate emails, publishing private phone calls, and attempting to ruin a legendary rapper's business legacy over a simple line on a song. They claimed that diss tracks and competitive trash talk have been part of hip-hop culture for 40 years, and that DC's decision to involve lawyers, contracts, and financial records was a snitch move that crossed the unwritten rules of the industry. Major media platforms went into complete overdrive. Emergency podcast episodes were recorded in middle-of-the-night sessions. High-profile urban commentary channels dedicated full 2-hour broadcasts to breaking down the legal implications of DC playing the leaked phone recording. Legal.